2022 is almost over and it's time to talk about the best of the best. Hello guys, one more time, welcome to Ring Royalty. My name is Alexis, as you already know. It's Christmas time, 2022 is about to finish. You can already see some decorations going on here. But we need to talk about the best of the best when it comes to women's wrestling. And I'm talking about the top 10 best female wrestlers of the year according to moi, obviously. I just want to make it clear that this is a biased opinion. It is all coming from my brain. So you can definitely bash me if you want to. I am letting you know that already. I did try to be as objective as possible, but I'm only human and I am sure some of my favoritism might be popping up here and there. So without anything left to say, let's start with this top 10. To begin this list at spot number 10, I've got AEW's Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa became the AEW World Women's Champion this year in a grueling battle in a steel cage match against her nemesis Britt Baker. It was such a beautiful moment for Thunder Rosa considering she was playing the underdog role. Britt Baker has been the face of the company ever since AEW really started and she has her goons with her. I'm talking about Jamie Hayter and Rebel. So it was so nice to see Thunder Rosa overcome Britt Baker at St. Patrick's Slam and finally win the title for herself. Unfortunately, the booking for this title reign wasn't the greatest. However, Thunder Rosa did manage to have incredible title defenses despite the lack of build-up for them. One example of that was her match against Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing, or the one against Toni Storm at Forbidden Door. I believe that Thunder Rosa's potential is just unbelievable and I don't think AEW took advantage of it to the full extent. It was also so unfortunate to see that Thunder Rosa had to relinquish the AEW Women's Championship due to injury. I'm just a bit upset that that is the way Thunder Rosa lost the title, by relinquishing due to injury with a lot of dirt shits around it. I don't think the dirty laundry should have been exposed like that. We don't even know if that's true, the real beef between Britt and Thunder Rosa, and I think her title reign was also underwhelming. However, it was good for what it was, I guess, and that's why she deserves a spot in this top. So at number 9, we've got Rowdy Ronda Rousey. The current SmackDown Women's Champion has definitely been portrayed as one of the main players in WWE's women's division, and whether she is criticized or not, I have criticized her a lot and you can watch my videos over here, there is no denying that WWE has faith in her and she does draw a lot of mainstream attention to the product. Ronda returned at this year's Women's Royal Rumble match back in January, the first time we see her in the WWE after 3 years. She won the match and I don't think she looked the greatest, and that's been one of the problems with Ronda. She hasn't really been having good matches on premium live events. The one that I would highlight though is the one that she had at WrestleMania, but not WrestleMania as itself, WrestleMania Backlash, the I Quit match against Charlotte Flair, where she became the SmackDown Women's Champion for the first time in her career. I do think that match delivered, it gave a lot of interesting emotion and character development. The best thing that happened to Ronda this year was definitely becoming a heel and currently being paired up with Shayna Baszler. She does look menacing now. I think she's a lot more comfortable as a heel and her promos have improved just a little tiny bit because as a babyface she was very cringy. And believe it or not, the only match that I would like to highlight from Ronda this year, besides the I Quit match, would be her title defense on SmackDown against Raquel Gonzalez. I do think that match, despite being probably a filler in the card, was one of the greatest Ronda has had this year, because her matches against Shotzi or Liv Morgan haven't really been the greatest. I think Ronda is a prominent figure on SmackDown, but I'm not sure if she's actually making the division move forward. So for now, I would just keep her there. Continuing with the list at number 8, we have the legendary hardcore country Mickie James. Mickie James keeps making history in my book, and we have to mention the historic, monumental participation of Mickie James as Knockouts champion in WWE's Royal Rumble. That's definitely a groundbreaking moment. She literally kicked the forbidden door, and I'm not talking about the pay-per-view, I'm talking about literally being in WWE while being a champion in another company. That's something we haven't seen before and we probably won't see again. On Impact Wrestling, she made even more history, starting the year as a champion, as I previously mentioned, having that amazing Texas Street Fight Death match against Deonna Purrazzo, match that for me was one of the best this year when it comes to women's wrestling. She also had interesting feuds alongside Deonna Purrazzo, Tasha Steelz, and Chelsea Green. Mickie has been delivering night in and night out, and it is so incredible that she has participated in Impact Wrestling, also WWE and NWA. She's been moving all around the globe, facing many different contenders and opponents. That for me is just amazing, considering Mickie's age and her trajectory. Doing that at this stage just proves that she's the GOAT. By far, the most important thing she has done this year for me is starting the last rodeo. Mickie James' career is about to end. Any match that she participated in, if she loses, she will be forced to retire. And I think that adds a lot more emotion to each and every match Mickie has. She has been cleaning the whole Knockouts division, from jobbers to Giselle Shaw, Chelsea Green, Taylor Wilde, Deonna Purrazzo, and now she will be facing Jordynne Grace, the current Knockouts champion, at next year's Hard to Kill. I am so looking forward to see that match. It's a first time ever match. Mickie's slaying the game, and I just hope that she has a great retirement. Hopefully she wins the Knockouts title one last time and proves why she's one of the best of the best. Period. And at number 7, I've got probably the breakout superstar of this year, and that's Liv Morgan. The improvement Liv Morgan has had both as a character and in ring skills has been unbelievable. She has become a completely different person from her times in the Riot Squad, and I am super happy because Liv Morgan has been crawling up that mountain for years and she never ceased to capitalize on her opportunities. WWE seemed to drop the ball with her many times, so I was scared that maybe she was going nowhere and she would be forever a mid-carder, but this year was Liv Morgan's moment and I am so glad it finally happened. She has this accolade to be featured in almost every single premium live event WWE has offered this year. She also won her first Women's Money in the Bank match this year, and that same night she cashed in against Ronda Rousey to become the SmackDown Women's Champion, winning her first title in WWE as well. Money in the Bank was such a heartwarming moment for me and a lot of wrestling fans because we all wanted to see Liv Morgan succeed and she gave us that. I would really like to put Liv Morgan higher on this list, but feuding with Ronda most of the year didn't really help her, especially during her title reign. Ronda was the most common opponent she had. I would highlight though her match against Shayna Baszler at Clash of the Castle. I think that match was a completely good example of what Liv Morgan can do when she doesn't really have to carry the whole match. Maybe she's not ready for that yet, but I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoy Liv Morgan matches against Sonya Deville after she lost the title, especially the no disqualification one. So this proves that Liv Morgan is ready to become an extreme superstar, and I think she has become one of the main players on SmackDown in very short time. So kudos to Liv Morgan, you're doing it right, girl. Hopefully 2023 is the year you win your second title reign, and this time it will be booked properly. And at number 6, I am going to Impact Wrestling to talk about Tasha Steelz. The Boricua Badass definitely solidified herself as singles competitor in 2022. This is a very similar case to Liv Morgan in WWE. From winning the first Women's Ultimate X match at Hard to Kill in January, to having a feud with the legendary Mickie James and winning the Knockouts Championship from her, and even defending the Knockouts title in the first ever Queen of the Mountain match at Slammiversary, Tasha Steelz was ready to make a historic moment after historic moment this year, and I applaud that. Having an enforcer like Savannah Evans made Tasha Steelz look like a bigger heel. She was this Boricua, sassy badass who was ready to trash talk you, but she has her bodyguard to do the dirty work for her. And that's how the best heels are portrayed and made. The two most interesting feuds she had this year were one against Mickie James, where she won the title and had that street fight defending the title against her, and also against Killer Kelly after she dropped the title at Slammiversary. They had a great storyline and we had two great matches, one at Victory Row and the other one which was a no disqualification match on Impact Wrestling. I think Tasha still has a lot more to give, and I am pretty sure 2023 will be even a bigger year. Maybe just drop Savannah Evans and stay as a singles competitor so we can all focus on how great she is in the ring. This year she has implemented moves like the Stratusfaction, Blackout or Frog Splash, which left me with my mouth wide open. I think Tasha Steelz is a very underrated talent, and I can't wait to see her shine even brighter than she did in 2022 for sure. And let's move to spot number 5. We're staying in Impact Wrestling wrestling because I want to talk about the current Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace started the year as a digital media champion, facing both male and female competitors to defend that title, giving us that amazing set of matches with Matt Cardona, including an No Disqualification one, which was great. I really recommend watching that. And then moved back to the Knockouts division, where she wanted to become a two-time Knockouts champion, and she actually did, at Slammiversary, winning the first ever Queen of the Mountain match. It was so incredible to see Jordynne Grace be the one at the top of the ladder holding the Knockouts title for the second time. It's been 2 years since she won that title, and I think it was very well deserved. The first time she won the title was when the pandemic hit, so the booking wasn't the greatest. This time she's willing to redeem herself and have the best title defenses we've ever seen in the Knockouts division. And some examples of that were the 2 matches she had against Masha Slamovich. The first one at Bound for Glory, which was a complete banger, one of the best Knockouts matches at Bound for Glory, and the second one happened when they squared off in a last Knockout standing match. So vicious, so incredibly tough match, and Jordynne Grace came out on top, overcoming the undefeated Masha Slamovich. Jordynne Grace has always been a great wrestler, but I feel like this year she's getting the spotlight she deserves. She's in the best physical shape of her career, and I only see better and bigger things happening for her in the upcoming year. Hopefully next year she'll become even a bigger star. At spot number 4, we move to AEW because we have to talk about Jade Cargill. We talked about how Jordynne Grace ended Masha Slamovich's undefeated streak on Impact, but nobody has been able to defeat Jade's undefeated streak on AEW. Winning the inaugural tournament for the new TBS Championship back in February, defeating Ruby Soho in the finals of the tournament, and then proceeding to destroy every single woman that was opposite to her in the ring. The whole damn AEW women's locker room was put on notice. Jade is unbeatable, and she does look unbeatable. Her looks, her persona, the way she carries herself, she's such a superstar, and that's undeniable. I still think she's green in the ring, but in this span of 16 months she's become a professional wrestler, I do see huge improvements in ring-wise. And I just don't think she deserves all the hate she always gets. I know she can handle it perfectly with all the green as money things that she's doing, with the wigs, attires and everything, but we have to agree that she's getting better each and every time we see her in the ring. Despite not having long ass matches and title defenses, the ones I want to talk about are probably my favorites. First, the one at All Out against Athena. It only lasted about 5 minutes, but it was such a great match. Very hard hitting, very fast paced, and the same happened with Full Gear against Nyla Rose. I think there was a storyline behind that rivalry, which was a bit rare for Jade Cargill's matches, and I really appreciated that. Stealing each other's finishers was a nice touch, and Jade finally facing someone that looked like a threat and could actually end her undefeated streak made her look even better when she got the victory in the end. Jade Cargill is definitely one of my favorite women in AEW, and she, alongside Britt Baker, are probably the ones that people associate more with the company when we talk about women. So the star power that she possesses at the moment is something that many women would desire, but they probably wouldn't get. We'll see where Jade Cargill goes in 2023, but I just hope that when she indeed loses the title is with a very interesting rivalry, build-up, and an amazing blow-up match. So fingers crossed for that. Let's continue with number 3, and I will go with the man Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch this year has been a pleasure to watch. Every time she was on my screen, whether she was cutting a promo, having an in-ring match, or just a brawl, she was delivering absolutely everything. She was excelling at every single thing she has done in 2022, and that's undeniable. Having amazing matches and amazing feuds with the likes of legendary Lita. Their match was out of this world, and it was a dream match for many WWE fans. The rivalry which she had against Bianca Belair, giving us two bangers of matches. The first one at WrestleMania, which is my favorite women's match of this year, and the rematch that they had at SummerSlam, that was another banger, where she actually got injured and competed half of that match injured. So kudos to Becky, you're a warrior, and she has become the GOAT for sure. A side feud that she had with Asuka was also one of the highlights of this year's women's wrestling in WWE, proving that Becky Lynch doesn't need a title to be relevant. Asuka and Becky main evented Raw for a whole month, and the end of that feud was a no disqualification street fight between the two, which Becky won. Becky has solidified herself as one of the pillars of WWE. She's a workhorse and she deserves everything that she's been receiving lately. Also returning and participating at War Games, winning the whole dang match by hitting a top row leg drop from the top of the cell to Dakota and Neil, who were laying on a table, is just a simply fantastic way to end the first ever women's War Games match on the main roster. I've never been the biggest Becky Lynch fan, but this year she completely caught my eye every time she was on screen, and she might have become one of my favorite wrestlers on the whole roster. So Becky Lynch, chef's kiss in 2022. We're about to reach the top, and at spot number 2, I am choosing the current NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose, the only NXT Women's Champion we've had in 2022, and she's on the way to becoming the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion of all time, the leader of probably the most successful women's tag team in NXT history, Toxic Attraction, has made waves in 2022 when it comes to success. She was the face of NXT 2.0, and she's still the face of the NXT women's division now that it was rebranded again. I think Mandy Rose reached a level that nobody really expected. I don't think she's the best in ring wise. However, wrestling is not all about in-ring skills, but also storylines, characters, and seeing how much you can connect with the crowd. And I think Mandy Rose is pretty good at all that. I would say most of her title defenses have been average, but a couple that stood out to me were the ones against Zoe Stark. There was a brutal and grueling match where Mandy did everything by herself. The one against Alba Fire at Halloween Havoc was also great, and I think the Fatal 4-Way match between her, Cora Jade, Alba Fire, and Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver was also a fantastic match for her, and it was in a big platform because it was on WrestleMania week. Personally, I would like to see Mandy Rose title reign end very soon because I want her on the main roster again. With this different aura that she has, and alongside Gigi and JC, she could do many different things to improve the main roster women's division, especially on SmackDown, because they're craving new faces and to freshen up things. And I think she already did everything that was to do on NXT. Mandy Rose is definitely one of the top women on WWE right now, and whether we like it or not, and whether she's the greatest in-ring performer or not, that has to be accepted and acknowledged. Mandy Rose is one of the top players in the women's division in WWE in 2022. That's undeniable. Before we finish and reach the top of the list, I want to give some honorable mentions, and curiously, these 3 honorable mentions that I have are from different companies. The first one is from WWE, and that is Charlotte Flair. The Queen is always there in contention for top spots in any list, having title defenses against the likes of Ronda at WrestleMania Backlash and against Naomi on SmackDown. Unfortunately, she was out with an injury most of the year. Then we've got in Impact Wrestling Deonna Purrazzo, the champ, having bangers for both the AAA Women's Championship and the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So kudos to Deonna. And to finish, we have AEW's Jamie Hayter, a rising star who is currently the AEW World Women's Champion. I think nobody expected her to be as successful as she is at the moment, and I am really looking forward to see what she's gonna bring in 2022. And we're finally here at the top of the mountain, at the peak, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows who my number 1 pick is, and that's obviously the EST or the VEST, Bianca Belair. Once again, similar to 2021 that you can watch my top over here, Bianca Belair takes the crown as the best women's wrestler of the year, and it's undeniable. She was featured in absolutely every premium live event there has been in WWE, with the exception of WrestleMania Backlash, and she has delivered a lot of bangers. From winning the Elimination Chamber match in Saudi Arabia to headlining WrestleMania and having the historic singles match for the Raw Women's title against Becky Lynch, winning the Raw Women's Championship for the first time in her career, defended it constantly, having bangers of title defenses against the likes of Sonya Deville on Raw, Becky Lynch again at SummerSlam, and her series of matches with Bayley. My favorite one hands down has to be at Extreme Rules. In that ladder match, it made Bianca Belair look like a superwoman. She entered John Cena mode, defeating absolutely everyone and destroying the whole Damage Control team by herself, and also the last women's standing match at Crown Jewel. Bianca Belair is at the top of her game. She looks like $1,000,000. She's in the best physical condition she's ever been. She's super charismatic. She has the mic skills. She knows how to connect with the WWE universe. Her in-ring performance gets better each and every time she's in the ring. She's athletic, she's fast, she's strong. There is nothing you can critique about Bianca Belair. She's doing absolutely everything right. I would say that from all the long title reigns we've had in recent years, Bianca Belair is the one that I've enjoyed the most for sure. And I hope that when she does lose the title, it is in another milestone that we would have for the women's division in women's wrestling history. So let's sum this all up, because Bianca Belair is the best of the best when it comes to women's wrestling in 2022. It wouldn't surprise me that next year she would take the crown of the best women's wrestler of the year again for the 3rd year in a row. But we'll have to wait and see for that. So for now, Bianca Belair, you're definitely the one and only GOAT of women's wrestling in 2022. Congratulations! Alright, so this was my top 10 of the best women's wrestlers in 2022. Let me know down in the comments who for you was the greatest women's wrestler this year. I can't believe we're already closing 2022. I feel like this year happened super fast. There were so many things that happened, but one thing that has been very constant is your support to the channel. So thank you very much for it. Don't forget to comment on this video, give it a like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I will see you guys next time. My name is Alexis, as you already know. It's been a pleasure. I will probably do a couple more videos before the end of the year, so stay tuned. Everybody, stay safe. Goodbye.